Generic greetings and welcome to Construction Plus Prison Architect Alpha 29, Episode 1. In the previous series we made this is our Alpha 28 prison, and it was moderately successful. It worked in the sense that it didn't riot, it didn't fight, there was no violence whatsoever. There was only one death, and that was due to a drug overdose, but we have introduced some sort of precautions against that by doing some reform programs up the top here. We got a couple of people in drug reform. We've also got our Alcoholics Anonymous here. As you can see, it looks like we actually need some more chairs in there, so I might go ahead and put some other sofas in. In fact, why don't we get on with that now? But yes, the actual facility works, and that's good. I'm very glad that everything functions well. Let me just put some weird put some chairs in a weird place. There we go. There's our Alcoholics Anonymous added on top. But yes, it functioned. The only thing that didn't work exactly to plan was our workshops. Now, as you can see, we have two fairly big workshops, and we can have 20 people working each one, which means that almost all of our prisoners that we have can technically work in there. Speaking of prisoners, I'm actually going to open up our intake because we do need some more prisoners. And yeah, it functioned. It functioned up to a point because we just didn't train that many prisoners to use the workshop and the tools and such. So hopefully, now that we're actually continuing on, because I'm not going to sell this prison, the plan was always to expand if the latest alpha, which is Alpha 29, the one we're running now, was actually going to work, would allow it, because obviously sometimes rollovers don't really work that well, but yes, what we're going to do, we're going to roll over this prison. So we're going to do a Alpha 29 series with this prison, but obviously you can see we've already expanded the land to the left, and the plan is to add all of the new buildings in, as well as expand the forestry, because that was always the original plan. We might build another cell block as well, but we'll see about that. That's going to be a maybe scenario, because it's not really built to house any more prisoners. We can only just fit in the people working in the canteen now, so yeah, we'll see about that one. But it'll probably be a short series, because expanding this and adding new buildings and forestry is probably only 2 or 3 episodes, if that. So I plan on doing that, and then we'll do parole and things like that. And yeah, it's probably going to be a very short series, but something I just wanted to touch on. Anyway. And there was no point in building a brand new prison just for the couple that we actually had. And a lot of people wanted to see this one continue, so I thought it kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So I've just ordered some fencing to go all the way around this outside bit. Now I'm going to go to staff and hire 2 workmen to crack on with that. Now they are going to be doing all of my fencing. I've ordered it all the way around there, as you can see. And it doesn't look like they are bothering at all. There we go. It's finally kicked in that. Oh yeah, we've got some jobs to do. They're going to be placing fencing all the way around the outside to extend what we already have. And the reason for that is obviously we don't want prisoners to run away. So while they're doing that, I'm going to run through the changes and the additions for this alpha. So it's mainly additions rather than changes to where things work. Obviously, there's the standard bug fixes and improvements and things like that, but nothing overly exciting. The main additions are the 3 rooms. We've got 3 new rooms. We now have, in no particular order, a library. Now, the way the library works is you place it down, you put bookshelves in there, and then just like a laundry room where you actually get people turning up. So you get oh, actually no, I guess it would be just like the workshop where you get iron plates turning up, and then you turn them and cut them down and make something out of them. You get boxes of books turning up. Okay, so you'll get a big box full of used books and sundries and magazines and things like that. They'll take that to the library, and then you'll have prisoners working in there who will then open them and start checking to see if the books are alright and to make sure they're readable, and then they will obviously categorise them and put them on the shelves, and then prisoners can come in, take a book, and then take it back to their cell and then read them. That's pretty good. I honestly would have preferred it to have been more of a laundry system where you have prisoners coming along with laundry carts, or not a laundry cart, but a book cart, and saying, would you like a book, and then handing out a book. That would be more like the shows that I'm using, more like the things like Escape from Alcatraz and Shawshank. Yeah, Shawshank as well. Brooks pushing the book cart. I don't know, it's very iconic in my mind. I've got this thing in my mind where I always see, people come to the library, fair enough, and that's how it works in this game, but I've always seen libraries work where they push the carts. They always push the carts along and take the books to the prisoners rather than the prisoners coming to the books. Although I guess in Shawshank, they end up opening a big library and things like that. But in the way the way the library works in this game, I think it would be it would be better with a cart. But anyway, that's just my own personal thoughts on that one. It works as intended. It's a library. They come and read. There's also a chapel, and now it's more, I believe it's called a generic, oh yeah, there you go. A multi-faith praying room is what it's called. So generic praying room is what they've called it pretty much. And you place it down, and they'll come and they'll pray, and you'll get a religious leader from the community come in to have a little chat and say some hymns, and also you'll sing along and do whatever. You'll do the faith thing. Okay, so that's a chapel. It's just another room. And then the main addition is the parole room. So at 50 and 75% of a prisoner's sentence, so you can click on any prisoner like so, and you can see he's served 5.2 years of 15 years. So as soon as he hits 7.5 years, he'll be eligible for parole, and he will have a parole meeting. So turn up and you'll have a meeting with our warden and our security and his lawyer, and then depending on what we set our bar at in our grading, basically what we set our reoffending rate or release rate, and versus his estimated reoffending chance, he might be released or he might stay in. So we can go to our policy, we can set our parole cutoff, so 33%, okay? So if they have a reoffending rate less than 33%, they will be released. That's what it is as standard. And then they'll be released. If they reoffend, then you get fined. If they leave and they don't reoffend, you get a nice $3,000 payout. So it is about the rehabilitation, which is something that I highly approve of. I'm glad they've finally got around to adding that. So that's good. So that's the main additions. Obviously to sort of get this sorted, they've had to add a couple more needs. So you can see we now have a spirituality and literacy need. So if you don't place the chapel, then the literacy, the spirituality need might be not fulfilled, and obviously that'll go up, and then you could get violence. So this is all low risk prisons here. Oh, looks like someone's had a dirty pickaxe on them. Very nice. So yes, they've added these things, which is good. That's very, very good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to planning, and I'm going to start adding some additional buildings. So I'm going to extend it across like this, and what we're going to do, we're going to add in this place, where's the middle of this? There isn't a middle, is there? We're going to add a library in here and a chapel in this area. Now I was going to originally put the chapel around the front, and actually I think that might be a better idea, putting the chapel around here as well as the maybe putting the chapel and the library around here would be good. It would be more fitting, wouldn't it, having the library back here, because it would be closer to the classroom. But then again, that means moving a lot of things around. I'm not really averse to that. We could do that. I was also going to get rid of the holding cell, but then realised that we definitely need a holding cell somewhere. So regardless of what happens, we do need a holding cell. So if I move, just for example, if for example we remove the holding cell and remove the infirmary and the morgue. Get rid of all of that, okay? Get rid of all of that. And then we put the chapel in here. Okay, so we'll have an entrance there. And then we'll block these two up. We'll have the chapel there. I mean, we can have an entrance there. That's fine. I don't really have a problem with that. And then we have... This is our parole room, because I need the parole room close to our warden, because the warden and the security guy comes out and then goes in. And I think there would be the most obvious place. I reckon. Would that be the most obvious place there? I can't think of where else we can put it. I mean, I could move this around, but no, I think that'll be okay. Parole room there, where the old holding cell was. And then we need to, if we do that, we need to put the holding cell somewhere else, the other holding cell. So where could I put a holding cell? Well, I could put it back here. This is currently a building that really has no purpose, or this chunk here has no purpose, but a holding cell is a minimum 5x5. Excuse me. Is that right? Let me just check to see if it's a holding cell is 5x5. Minimum 5x5 surrounded by walls. So we can't have it there, which is a shame. We could put it where the yards are, because I currently don't really have any holding cell. 6x6 and put a... No, because it wouldn't be that. It would be that. 5x6. Could do that. Could do that. 5 by 5 there and put a little thing around it. Yeah, and two very small holding cells. That would work. That would work. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm trying to fit all them in. See, that obviously with the additions of these buildings, it's going to be it's trying to fit them in the right areas. I don't want to put, for example, the chapel right next to the right next to the workshop. It just doesn't seem fitting. You know, you want to have it away from that. So I think the chapel up here is the right place to be, because then that's when they come in, they can go up, and then yeah, they can go through the classroom and then go to the chapel. Yeah, that makes sense to me. That makes sense. We haven't actually put any extra visitor tables in there. We should do that as well. And then we need a place for the Alcoholics Anonymous is there, that's fine. Then a common room. Yeah, so we're going to have our... Oh, actually, we could if we wanted to. Parole room, you have one parole room. Minimum size 5 by 5. We could just put a parole room on the side of here. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Building's just too small, because it needs to be enclosed, you see. No, we're going to have it here. We'll have our parole room here, a separate one. And then we'll have to move the holding cell. And we will... What I'll do, I'm going to get rid of this forestry here. Don't need it, don't want it, right? The thing is, we're going to move forestry and put forestry all around here anyway. So it's sort of pointless having it where it is. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so... Go to dismantle objects, get rid of these trees, don't need them, and do the same down the bottom. That makes sense, and we've got a fairly big area to do whatever we want. So I think what we need to do is have a library, and we're going to have the library tacked on here because it's near the laundry and near the working stuff. So that's fine, we can put it around there. And then we can have a yard all the way around it, and then around there a forestry, something like that. Then we'll have our parole there, then we have to have a holding cell there, and then we'll have to have our infirmary somewhere as well. What if we put... I mean, we can get rid of this yard as well. I'm going to get rid of that yard eventually, but I don't want to do it too much. What I'll do is I'll shrink it a little bit. Like that. There we go. Shrink that yard like so, and then I'm going to add a little path across it. If I can actually find the right tab, there we go. A little path across there on either side. Job done. Right, okay. And let me just check. Is this actually behind walls? I think it is. Let me just... there's an easy way to find out, to see if that's behind walls. Yes, it is. Okay. That's fine. So that fence is all the way... That fence is done now, so what I'm going to do is demolish walls and demolish the fence all the way to the end, and just make sure it's not the meeting section, because then there would be a little bit of hole in the wall and then we'd have a bit of a problem. Clear indoor area? Can't remember ever seeing that one before. Anyway, they're getting on with all of their removal. You can see there's actually workmen there dismantling the trees and such. I'll just speed up to max speed. I don't know if there's been any new grants added. Now, 3 more hidden. There's some grants. Don't know what they are. We've got Education Reform Programme. We've got Carpentry Apprenticeship, and we've got Cell Block C. Cell Block C I don't think we'll ever finish. I'm not doing the nutritional research, so I don't know what the other 3 are. Don't know what I could do to get the others. I mean, we're still doing this Education Reform Programme, so we will get there eventually. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to Programs and just reschedule all for the time being. There we go. It's always good to reschedule now and again, just to, you know, if you change rooms and such, it's just a good idea. And also, you do it at night as well, because if you do it in the daytime, then it's a bit of a problem. Okay, or it can be. So, tree stump, that is... I think we're still having to... Are they getting rid of that? I think they are getting rid of it eventually. They will get there. Looks like they're dismantling. There's a tree. We'll dismantle that. Tree stump. Can we clear that? And we can clear that. Dismantle. I think we can get rid of that. What I'll do, I'll put the building in, and that'll sort it out. Right. So the building here, it's going to be... This is going to be our holding cell, I think. we'll have that there. We'll just put it in. And, oh, yeah, they're all getting demolished. And then we'll put a building in back here. And, again, this will be another building. Don't know what yet, but it will be an building. There we go. And we need to put in some entrances. Entrance-eye, cactuses. We'll put in a standard door on each one, apart from... Where do you want to put it? Well, I'm going to tack infirmary on there, I've decided. Move the infirmary there, and it makes sense being in between both workshops. And we'll put psychology over there as well. Because we can, there's no reason why we can't. And then we will... And it means that the foreman has someone to talk to, because he's been there all on his own for a while. So we'll have that over there in the morgue as well. And then the holding cell will go there. So we'll put our jail door in. There we go. That's our holding cell. That is our... That'll be our... I'm trying to think. I could, if I wanted to, change the laundry to there. And then, no, I was going to say change the laundry to there, and then the library to here, and it doesn't have, there's no sense in it. There's no sense in it whatsoever, so I'm not going to do that. That's just me being a bit pedantic about the layout, so we don't need to do that. Let's just put a bit of power into these things, like so, and then we will start the new buildings. We'll start furnishing them anyway. So I think first things first, we'll go to our... disassemble. We'll dismantle objects, and we'll dismantle the couple of objects that are remaining inside our holding cell. There we go. Then we'll also demolish the little bit of wall that's in there as well, because we don't need that. And then finally, we'll go to our rooms tab, holding cell, and we'll undesignate that. Now, as I said, we don't strictly need a holding cell. Ah, damn it! I thought I might have done that. I forgot that we use concrete walls, don't we? So I'm going to have to redo all of the walls in concrete. Oh, well, I knew there was going to be a mistake at some point, and yeah, there we go. To be fair, I never did that in the previous series. I never did it at all. All the buildings I put in were actually all present and correct, and all with this concrete. So, yeah, you forgive me one of them, surely. No, the people won't forgive me one of them. You don't get forgiven anything on YouTube. Right, okay, let me have a sip of beverage while we get on with this. Today's beverage is almond-flavoured coffee. Actually, it's coffee with almond flavouring in it. It's the other way around, you see. Because almond flavoured with a little bit of coffee would be so bitter. It would be unreal. Right, so we're getting on with that. Money-wise, we got 20 grand. It's alright. And we're getting 5 grand a day, which is all good, all good, all good. Do we have many people doing the foundation education programme? We have 5 interested. 17 finished with a 64% pass rate. That's good. That is very good. We've got our pharmacological treatment of drug addiction, which we've got 2 in the queue. We don't need that second programme. That's fine. We see there's a lot of people getting treated there. Alcoholics group therapy, we've got a lot of people in that as well. It's good. Carpentry, no one's interested. General education qualification, someone's interested. So we might get on with that. We've also got spiritual guidance, which is another program. Also parole hearing as well, which we really need to get done as soon as we can. So actually, let's get on with that. Let me just go to our rooms and then parole room. We'll clicky, clicky, draggy, draggy on there. And then it only requires a visitor table, and that is it. Visitor table and rooms. So we'll put a visitor table in right in the center like that. That looks really ominous, doesn't it? And then the flooring we will put in as, I think we'll keep it with our standard flooring. We'll go for the mosaic tiles. So there we go. Is that what our stuff's got in here? Yeah, that's mosaic tiles. So that's fine. So once that's in, we will then get on with our other stuff there. We'll get on with our other parole hearings. So the holding cell's in, and I don't know what these guys are doing. They're sort of stuck in the walls by the look of it. Yep, looks like they're stuck in the walls. Don't say we've got that problem again. We will probably force open, or do we need to have a jail door there? I don't think we need to have a jail door for a holding cell. It just needs to be enclosed. So that's okay. I can actually dismantle that then and put a standard door there. So once that's done, we'll put a standard door there. There we go, put it in. And then we will shove in, I think, a... Actually, while I remember, let me just go to my... Just go to stone. And we're going to put stone in all the way along there. And all the way along there. And we're going to get rid of the yard as well at some point. So we'll probably do that in a bit. Then I'm just going to go to my objects. And then we'll put in... We'll put in some benches at the back, like so, a couple of benches. And then what I'm going to do is just pause it for a second and go to concrete and check out how many toilets I can fit in here. What I'm doing, I'm actually sort of adding an extra toilet block in because it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. Actually have a separate toilet block somewhere in the prison where it's not just, well, it's not just people's cells. So they can actually go here for the toilets, but I'm not going to make, I was going to put it a little bit wider and have doors on it, but I don't think that's going to work out because of the lack of space. It would be a bit channel tunnel down the centre, so we're not going to bother with that. Let's just go to our utilities and then small pipe, and then we need to run a small pipe, I think across like that. That's really inefficient. Actually, I don't even like the way that is. Much better. Much better. There we go. So that's our holding cell. Excellent. Okay. We now have a parole room, which means we can go to reports, and then we can go to our parole hearing, and we'll start. So, start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's. Then we'll reschedule that, but there's a lot of parole there. A lot of parole. These can be done at any point, as far as I'm aware. Them ones, so we don't need to worry too much about that. Right. Okay. So, fence all the way around. Check. Holding cell. Check. Big pile of bricks that is stopping the door from closing. Check. Let's just go to materials and then concrete tiles. We'll put our concrete tiles in. Oh, hang on. Have I built that a little bit too far forward? I have built that a bit too far forward. Let's demolish the walls. In fact, no, not demolish walls. Bulldoze. Bulldoze that there. Sorted. And then we will put our walls in like so. And then we'll put, finally, the door in again. There we go. I was going to say that's a little bit dodgy. What? Oh, a tunnel. Oh, that's interesting. Let me have a search of that cell. Oh, search of that area. Let's search cell. Right. In our holding cell, I think we will go for a standard flooring of mosaic. Concrete tiles up to there. That's fine. And just realised that we haven't put that in there. There's a couple of places like that I've missed out. Oh, here we go. Here's our parole. So, we've got our warden, we've got the chief, and now we go. There we go. There is our first prisoner coming for parole hearing. Stephen Jackson, age 20, sentenced to 11 years for blackmail. Good grief. He served 6 years of an 11-year sentence. If we look at his recent misconduct, we can see that he has had none. So he's worked out, he's had a good mood or normal, he's doing his parole hearing now, he's done a workshop safety induction and a foundation education program. His reoffending rate is 2% estimated, so that is good. I hope he gets let out, which he will be. There's no guesswork involved when it comes to the percentages, as far as I'm aware. They mentioned that in their alpha video, where if it says, 33% or less, guess what? That there is dead on that estimating. It's not that estimated reoffending rate. It's not actually an estimate. It's a dead on. Right. So he has hopefully been let out. In fact, if we go to normal speed, we can see that Stephen Jackson has been released. There he goes. He's going out through all of the doors that we shouldn't really use. I really wish that we'd have an area where set so he only goes one particular way. We're going to open that one. There we go. Good grief. If it's staff only, they shouldn't be able to go through it. There should be a nobody other than staff. I think that's what staff only is, but no, these aren't that. So he's going to leave, and do we get a bonus? $3,000 early release prisoner award. So he's left, and he's not reoffended. What we've just done there is reform a person. They've come in, they went, they've maybe been a bit naughty or whatever, but they have left. Hopefully, better than what they came in with. Well, in a better situation than what they came in. Maybe. We don't know. We don't know what their situation is now that they've left. Who knows? Looks like we haven't found anything on the right-hand side there, so that is good. That's very good. Let me just have a quick look at our deployment here and on dog patrols. And yeah, we've still got our dog patrol going all the way around. That's fantastic. Right. So, I've actually realised I've really messed something up here, haven't I? I've had my low-risk intake open. There's the second mistake, and a big mistake. I've had my intake open for quite some time, and I've now got 68 prisoners of 56. That's a little bit more than what I wanted. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, yeah, make sure we've still got the parole going. Yeah, we've still got the parole here. So we got our second person, Paul, new Batty. Yep. So that's good. He's doing his parole hearing. It says it needs 3 people in there. It says it needs the warden, the security guard, and the guy's lawyer. But looks like you just need him to be there. I don't even... Oh, as long as there's the warden there, as far as I can see. Looks like if it's just the warden, you'll be alright. So, actually, although we are over capacity, because several prisoners are up for parole and most of them will be leaving anyway, then there won't be any big problem as far as I can tell. That's okay, that's good. Right, what I'm going to do then is open up... I think actually, do I want to reduce our parole cut-off? I think we are going to reduce our parole cut-off to 25%, so a 1 in 4 chance of reoffending. I think that if you are... Yeah, anything higher than that, and we can do better. We can do better by you. Right, it's got nothing to do with us wanting to keep you in and in the workshop. See, that's one of the things, again, you can do. It's got a lot of... What would be the right term? There's a lot of consequences for not paroling people. Obviously, if you don't parole people, or you don't even give them the opportunity, or if you parole them and have the if you put the chance down to 0%, which you can do, you can put the slider down to 0%, and say, no, you know, you're not going to, there you go, look, 1%, 0%, yeah? So you can say, right, unless there's a 0% reoffending rate, which there can't be, as far as I'm aware, I've never seen a 0%, you won't leave, and then prisoners will be annoyed because they haven't been paroled. If you just don't put a parole room there and keep them in, then you would be, you know, you might want to do that because you want to keep them in here because they're working in your workshops and making your money. A lot more facets than you think. It's a lot more complex than what it might seem to, what it might appear to be. Right, let's go to our stone, put it in, all the way around, there we go. This is going to be our library, but I think we will leave it there because we've progressed on quite a bit for this one. So next episode, put our library in, we need to move all of the infirmary over to a new building which will be here. That includes our morgue and the psychologist as well, and that will allow us to, you know, because keep them programs running, but also put in our generic prayer room and such, generic faith room, and hopefully we can get that all sorted next episode. As always, comments in the comments, so we will go from there. Thanks very much for watching, take care, and generic partings.